Drop. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Johnny Lamb Jones. Wide receiver.
As a season ticket holder of the Jets, I'm going to fool Ken O'Brien of California Davis.
Obviously, the Jets know something that, the people up there don't.
Fullback, hello. Roger Vick, Jeff Lageman.
Jets just don't understand the draft all back.
Blair Thomas, running back, Penn State. Johnny Mitchell. The New York Jets select tight end from Penn State, Kyle Brady. Vernon Golson. Cleveland's graded the 5th pick to the New York Jets. And with the 5th pick in the 2009 NFL Draft, New York Jets select Mark Sanchez.
D. Milner. Dino Smith. Jets select quarterback Christian Hackenberg.
Sam Darnold. The New York Jets select Zach Wilson.
Future Pro Bowler, Elijah Moore.
Michael Carter, running back.
Yeah, future Pro Bowler Elijah Moore. Dom C is in the house with myself, GreenBean, for tonight's 10 o'clock mock. Mr. C, how you doing tonight, bro?
Oh, man, I can't complain. Busy weekend. Got a busy week ahead of me, but, I feel good, man. I feel good. We're moving all along in this offseason stuff, which is wonderful. We're naming coaches here. Rodgers is still in the black hole. We don't know what it's going to be about.
Yes.
They're eating good Italian food with Derek Carr.
They are. Well, at least we hope they went to a place where they could get good Italian food.
Yeah, I've been to the restaurant. My wife and I took my parents for their 49th wedding anniversary. That's where we ate, Fiorino's.
Really?
Yeah, in Summit.
Did you get the
I didn't get the burger.
No, pappardelle bolognese?
Probably not.
You didn't
Probably
do it?
not. Listen, it was a couple years ago. I don't remember exactly what I got, but I from a real, I'm the first generation. Obviously, maybe maybe some know. My parents are square off the boat. I'm the first generation born here. So there's one thing I never order when I go out to a restaurant: pasta. I can go to Lake Hiawatha, New Jersey, and get a better bowl of pasta of any type whatsoever than any restaurant will ever.
Where in Lake Hiawatha? What, Ecola?
No, Washington Avenue, one street above North Bedwick, my parents' house.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Makes a ton of sense, right? It makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
And I respect that. I hear you. That said, I believe Derek Carr should have ordered the pappardelle bolognese. If he didn't, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell these guys, Dom.
Yeah, I don't know. You order something. You order something good. I thought it was interesting that the whole restaurant was empty, though.
Yeah. They said, hey, listen, we don't want any bologna.
That's right.
They said, well, come at 9 a.m. and we'll be fine. Because nobody said that's what really happened. They were there. It was 6 a.m.
Steak and eggs.
Yeah, hey man, ain't nothing wrong with that. So look, Dom, we have Aiden Murphy here. It's his first time being able to watch live in a while. Well, good, Aiden. Glad you're here.
Welcome, brother.
Yeah, this is the 10 o'clock mock, everybody. And we're really excited to be here. Once again, there was a poll placed on Twitter, and you guys vote. So we had 54% of you voted for one option, and there was another one. The one that you liked, Dom, the trade back with New Orleans, had 36%, and then a few others. It was like I don't know, draft a quarterback and something else. I forget what it was. Yeah. But so tonight, what we're gonna do, guys? What's up, Craig Safola? We're gonna swap picks with the GreenBay Packers. So if you don't know what that means, we currently have 13. They currently have 15. We're going to swap, which means they get to jump up 2 spots, which is valuable. I mean, points-wise, it's not all that impressive. It's like 150 points or so, but it's still a jump. And then we're throwing in our third to kind of sweeten it, but that's the trade. for Aaron Rodgers. So we come out of this, Dom, with our quarterback, the Derek Carr, Pappardelle Bolognese, and everything else. It's didn't matter. We still chose Aaron Rodgers. He came out of the dark room and goes, Jets. That's what he did. J-E-T. I don't know what I'm saying. What's happening? So a spiritual.
So it's funny too. I mean, people are going to say, "Oh, the trade doesn't make sense," or "It's way not enough value." You know what? I don't know, and I'm going to say this. Do you think, Bean? What do you think? Do you think there's a lot of smoke being thrown on both sides? One by the Packers in how much interest the Raiders have in Aaron Rodgers, and two, maybe by the Jets, how interested they are in Derek Carr. Do you think that's a drawing a line in the sand, a lot of smoke being played? So
yeah, and I think you'd be stupid not to. You know what I mean? You don't lead with your chin, you don't show all your cards, and every cliche after that. Like, that's the truth of it. Even if you do have interest, even if you do, want a certain result, and that's what people are saying, you still have to bring other counterweights to the scenario. Like you need to do it. Like, look, man, we just had Derek Carr in here. Truth is, we loved him. You want anything from us, Derek? I mean, Aaron Rodgers is only saying he'll go to the Jets and the Raiders. The Raiders are offering you a second. We're offering you a couple picks. Like, take it or leave it. We'll just sign Derek Carr. That kind of stuff. It's very important to do that. And I think that there's absolutely play on both sides. Now, how much is each side buying? I mean, Robert Saleh and Matt LaFleur are like, dude, it's all bullshit. They're buddies.
Yeah.
They're not going to start lying to each other now. You know what I mean? Because after this, let's say they both win Super Bowls and they're both at their teams for, the head coach for 10 years. After that, they're going to be friends. You know what I mean? So
these guys, like I said, I think their friendship, especially, best men in each other's weddings, that whole nine. This stems way past their relationship is built on much stronger foundation than just, I'm going to try to beat him over for Aaron Rodgers or vice versa, yada yada. So I think you're right, man. Like they're probably speaking real to each other.
They are. Yeah. Joe Douglas is like, hey, dude, I already told you. Can you stop fucking telling this guy everything we're thinking? He's like, I can't lie to him. He's my bud. It's like that kind of stuff going on. But no matter how you slice it, I think the interest in Aaron Rodgers is real. I think the interest in Carr is real. Now, they could prefer one or the other, one over the other and all that jazz. But I don't think that I don't think the visit with Carr is all smoke and mirrors. I don't think that. I think that there's legitimate interest, dude. They had him for 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's no joke.
Yeah, they easily could have given him an offer. Like Carr said from the get-go, and I believe he was transparent with it. Like, listen, I'm gonna do my due diligence. I'm not gonna rush into any decisions. I'm gonna do my due diligence. I'm gonna go see teams and so on and so forth. But they could have easily given him the framework of a deal. I'm sure they left Florence Park, him and his agents, with kind of understanding where they were going to come in, or roundabout what something would look like.
Yep. Amazing. Right. So I think that they could, like, hey, this is where we're kind of thinking. This is what, the basic overview. And I think that would be, I guess it could be a negative, but I think that, I don't know. I don't know how these things go. It's like, this is 4D chess and all that jazz. No matter how you slice it, though, Dom, Derek Carr was here and Aaron Rodgers is coming out of the dark any minute now. I mean, he should be coming out. And I think, again, I'll say it. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I think Joe Douglas is brilliant for timing the visit with the time that they're waiting for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, come on. Could it get any better than that?
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. Now, look, Dylan Terraman's in the house from Jetnation Radio. He says, Rodgers and Addison, 5,000 passing yards. And don't forget, man, Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, and all that stuff. So we would, look, if we decide just like, hey, we have the offensive lineman, we'll grab a few in the mids and we'll bring on a free agent and all that jazz. But we're going hard at greatest show on turf, that kind of a thing. Hey, man, why not? Bring in a receiver and double up and do the whole thing. it could be exciting. So I like it, Dylan. Now, Matthew Smith is like, he's a bum. Now, I don't know if he's a bum, Matthew Smith, but we all have our favorites and our guys that we don't like. So lots of fun guys in here. Rob's here, New York Sports 123 is here, ready to buy a new car. I like that. Eric Craig, our old pal, is in the house.
What's up, Eric?
Here. Yeah, right. All kinds of fun people. Rob F. Brady. Is that your real last name? That's fun. Rob F. Brady. I like that. How'd that work out? Who knew? Patty Grimes is here. A fungus among us. Yeah, look at all these guys. New York Jets fan 4. Finnegan's in the house. Jordan Victor's here. Gitmo Bob, our old pal, is here as well. Ablab's in the house. What's up, buddy? It's good to see Ablab. He's taking a little bit of a break, I think. I haven't seen him.
Yeah, he must have gone broke with all the super chats he throws to every creator, man.
Yeah, he needed to reevaluate. You know what? Why? Why did I do that? But I'll tell you what. Ablab, as we know, we were doing the fund last year to take Jets fans to their first ever home game, not just playoff.
Yeah.
And Ablab gave a donation that it was like 90% of one. I forget which person, but his donation took care of just about 90% of one person's ticket and everything. So essentially he got one person into their first ever Jets home game. So
amazing, dude.
Yeah, amazing. Ablab, thank you, man. And we appreciate you, and you're the shit, man. You're the shit niggles. The shit sniggles. How do you say that? The shiznick. That's what I was looking for. The shiznick. That's still cool. No. Yeah. See,
No,
I'm so old that
okay.
the things I think, it's like I think if I'm not saying hip, I'm cool. And, all the things I think is cool is already 10, 15, 20 years out, Dom. I don't know. I'm old.
Yeah, well,
John is here. Yeah, and it better be okay because it's all I got, So, all right. So here's what we're going to do tonight. Braden's here. Nice to see you. Listen, so we're going to do something a little bit surprising. Now, we've done this before. We usually wait a little bit later into the mock draft season. We're going to start it tonight because I have full intention of making mistakes. How's that sound? We're going to make mistakes tonight. So again, the theme is we're swapping picks with the Green Bay Packers, our 13 for their 15, and we're throwing in a third, which is 74. So we'll have 15. We will have a second. Then we will not have a third. Then we go into the fourth. That's on our PFN. But a little surprise for Gitmo Bob and Vervain and everybody. We're also going to bring in a PFF mock sim, and we're going to throw that guy into the fray. We're not going to spend too much time on it. We're just going to real quick go through it and see what it goes. But we've added Corey Davis for Bakhtiari, Dom. What do you think of that? Very interesting.
Listen, if Bakhtiari can prove that he's past these injuries, I mean, he fixes the one of the gaping holes we have here at tackle. I'll tell you that much. But the question is he beyond those injuries?
Yeah, well, Aaron Rodgers loves him, and hey, man, bring him into the injured tackle crew. Why not? Somebody's got to be healthy out of the bunch.
Yeah, throw them all in there. Whichever two survive training camp, play.
That's man, somebody, right? We just need one of you. Damn it, one of you gotta be healthy. So I'm gonna go ahead now. This is gonna be difficult, guys. Again, I'm old. I'm still saying things like shizniggles. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know if I've ever known what it meant. But
I don't think anybody knows what it means. I think it's a beanism, and that's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I heard it. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm gonna be bouncing back and forth from mocks. Dom's gonna help us. You guys are gonna help us. Now, I have a poll question in there. I want to see what you guys think and see if you're consistent. So we're gonna go ahead and end the poll question now to see when we get there, Dom. If they really want to do this. Let's see. So the question was, if we don't go offensive tackle in the first, who do you want? 44%. Well, let me end it and see the official numbers here. Yep, 45% said safety Brian Branch would be their heart's desire, followed by wide receiver Jordan Addison. He got a 24%. Defensive tackle Brian Breesy, who I like a whole bunch. Although I've been reading some stuff that says he's overrated. I don't know if I'm seeing that. 21%. And edge rusher Miles Murphy coming around the back end with 8%. So let's see how that goes. We're going to jump into this thing. I see Tigo just entered the house. Hawk is here. Squirmy Weasel. Hank. All right. So we're going to go ahead and share their screen. All right. Where is you? Okay. And PFN. So we'll start with the PFN. Can you see it, Dom?
We can. Crystal clear, sir.
All right. So I already made the trade, everybody. You're going to have to trust me that I picked 7 rounds. And that is the Jets. All right. Let's see. So we're going to start the draft, and we'll see. Gitmo Bob said he would still trade back. Well, let's see what we get offered, Bob. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, and we're off. Okay, look at that. Boom, 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 boom.
And there goes Jordan Addison at 13. Green Bay says, I want my receiver.
All right. Look, Miles Murphy's gone. So look at this. Will Anderson goes up at the top. I'll make this larger so you guys can see it a little bit. Then followed by Bryce Young, Christian Gonzalez, Will Levis, Miles Murphy, Anthony Richardson. What's that? 3 quarterbacks right off the rip, and then CJ Stroud.
4 in the top 7. Listen, it wouldn't shock me one iota if 4 quarterbacks were taken in the top 10 somewhere along the top
order. But that order is a little bit not confusing, but surprising. Let me say that. That would surprise
Will
me.
Levis is not everyone's cup of tea.
No,
no. And listen, realistically, all 4 of the quarterbacks, you can make valid arguments for or against them, even including Bryce Young.
Well, look at the tackles here. Paris Johnson, it's kind of the standard, followed by Quentin Johnson, wide receiver, but then Broderick Jones there. Very interesting. Joey Porter, Jordan Addison, and look at that, 3 cornerbacks in the first little batch here, first 14.
Very strong cornerback. It's a very strong cornerback class.
Fantastic. All right. Good thing we already got one, or we'd be tempted. You know what I mean?
Ooh,
We'd be tempted.
Look at this trade. The Saints, the one I love.
This is funny because this was one of the options. Granted, we were at 13, but this was very similar to what we were talking about. This was one of the trades that we put up for vote today. So let's see. We have 3 trade offers, guys. So I'm going to go ahead, look at these, then I'll throw in the poll, and we'll see if we can recoup that third. Maybe there's a third in there. 15 and next year's third for 29, pick 71. That gives us our 3rd round pick back and next year's first. Not a bad deal, I have to say. No. Now the Eagles want to get in. They want us to go back one more spot, but they give us pick 62 in next year's first. The only thing you can argue here is that next year's first arguably conceivably
be a lot worse.
Could be worse. Right. But 62, if you just a bird in the hand, you look at 71 versus 62, that's a big jump. That's 9 picks in this year's draft. So, and interesting. All right. Now we have the Panthers. Look at this. Only 15. We get 39, which is outside the first round, guys. And we get next year's first and second. So, all right, Dom, go ahead and take us through this. What do you think? I'm going to put the poll up there, guys. Don't forget.
So
you guys got to vote, right? That's the whole thing.
Yeah. I don't know, considering that we don't have a 3rd rounder, I don't know if I want to trade down completely out of the first round. So I would eliminate the Panthers off the bat, even though the 1st and the 2nd next year is a great deal. It's probably something that's a little far-fetched. I can't believe Carolina would offer something like that in real life. But the situation that we're in here now, I probably wouldn't want to come all the way out of the first round. So the question really comes, if you want to trade back, would you rather have a higher pick, meaning a 2nd rounder this year as opposed to a 3rd rounder, with the risk of your 1st rounder next year being lower? Because that second first rounder, you got to think of it as gravy, right? Like the Eagles have 2 firsts this year, and there's a couple teams that have 2 firsts. Detroit, for instance, and Seattle is another one. And you see, and as you do, or as you read through, or as you watch some of these prognosticators do mocks, they talk about like, hey, listen, you have an extra first. This is the time you can kind of take a stab, take a guy that you really wouldn't want. The Eagles can take a running back in the first round, which is taboo these days because they got an extra first round pick.
That's right.
Why not?
Yep.
Why not?
Yeah, you have the liberty, right?
Yes, Seattle, Detroit can think about drafting their quarterbacks of the future because you got an extra first round pick. It's like gravy. So if we consider the Philadelphia deal where we're getting an extra second round pick, the last one, and possibly a lower first round pick next year, that first round pick next year is still just gravy, right? It's just a little extra hot fudge sprinkled on the sundae.
Ah, I like hot fudge. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting way to look at it. So, guys, don't forget the poll is in the chat. If you don't see it, go ahead and hit refresh, and it should pop up for you. Let's try to get this one done rather quickly. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you who's available. So when you're thinking about, I want to trade, but I really want Peter Skoronski, he's not going to be there if we go back to 29. Well, he could be at 29, but unlikely to be there in the other trades. So guys like Brian Branch, and there's a very realistic possibility that they're gone. Wide receiver from Ohio State. Say that for me. Go ahead. Take a shot.
Jackson Smith Njigba. Jigba.
Right. Okay. Then we got, look at this. Another Notre Dame tight end. I was looking up some Notre Dame tight end stuff. 40% of the tight ends in the NFL are from Notre Dame. Isn't that interesting?
That is kind of interesting.
Yeah. And then we have Miami and Iowa coming in second and third. It's just interesting, man. Like there are certain schools when you look at a tight end and you say, oh, I like this guy. If he's from Iowa, he's from Notre Dame, then you got a pretty good shot that they're going to make it.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a tight end, edge, Isaiah Foskey's here. Lucas Van Ness. Oh, he's climbed up, man. He's been climbing up on this.
Yeah, he's a guy that I find very polarizing. Like he's got all the measurables. But I think you can't discount the fact that he wasn't a starter. He was a pass rush specialist this year on their team, and he's a one-trick pony. He's Michael Clemens. He's a bull rush. I'm gonna run through you. And that's all I got in the chamber. I got one in the chamber right now. Now, could that develop? Absolutely. But I will say this, he does that very, very well.
Very well.
He is a power rush expert. So, before everyone gets into the vote, just so you know, I punched the numbers in the trade value chart. The Philadelphia Eagles trade, not including their first rounders, because I put them at an equal value. You can't until they have an actual draft slot. You don't know what the true range is. So I put them at the same value. So the first and the second that we would get from Philadelphia is 805 draft points. The first and the third that we would get from New Orleans is 875 points. So there's a 70-point swing. So they're saying that 29 and 71 is more valuable than 30 and 62. Gotcha. Which is interesting to me.
Another interesting tidbit is that Philadelphia, as far as the poll is going, has a whopping 3%. They're getting trounced. Now, it's really between no trade and New Orleans. No trade has 51%. I'll let this go about 30 more seconds or so. We only have 63 votes, so less than half of you have voted. No trade is winning with 51%. New Orleans has 34% of the vote. So if you want to trade, now's the time, guys. Get your votes in. I just saw 4 votes come in. Nice.
I'm getting on there to vote myself.
There you go. Get that vote in. Now, the Eagles is a wasted vote. It's like voting for the Green Party. You know what I mean? It's just it's not going to do anything here, Dom. Politics aside. Sorry, everybody. All right. Now, while we're doing that, I'm just going to show you, Dom, this one, we're just going to do you and I. Okay.
I like that.
Well, look at this. Now, guys, this trade, same deal. We swapped picks. This is the PFF, but we added Corey Davis for David Bakhtiari. Now we didn't get Bakhtiari in the main mock, this one. Okay. All right, in the PFN mock. Now, you can't see the PFF. I got to get out of here. All right, here's what we're going to do. We'll get over there in a second. So I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. 50% says no trade.
Wow.
36%. So we're not trading, everybody. That's what we're not doing. We're not trading.
They said F those picks.
So now we got to go with the actual position. Now, obviously, a lot of people, where the hell did they go? Brian Branch, we're going to throw up there. We'll throw Skronsky up there. Who else do you think? We got Brian Breesy up there.
Listen, I think I've said it like a broken record. I think that the defensive tackle position just falls off a complete cliff after the first couple tiers, maybe the second round. So I don't think that Brian Breesy would be a bad option to consider. Listen, is he worth the 13th or the 15th pick? That's arguable. He's an outstanding player, and I know that people are down on him. He not only dealt with, he came back from an injury last year, but he had kidney stones this year or something, a bad kidney infection, lost a couple games. But he also dealt with, and I think you really have to factor this in. He dealt with his younger sister passed away from cancer. So, he was dealing with big time tragedy, which probably affected his play. But it definitely dipped. But I mean, the idea of pairing him and Quinnen Williams in the middle and just getting after the quarterback up the middle, I mean, it's almost too enticing to not put him in there.
I love it. I mean, it really is a sexy idea, but then you have Jigba sitting there too. That's another sexy idea on a lot of people's minds as well. Yeah. All right. While you guys are voting in the poll, we have 4 players. We have Branch, Skronsky, Breesy, and Jigba. So let's see how that goes. Now, while you guys are voting, we are going to go ahead, stop this screen. We're going to bring on this other screen, and we're going to vote for this one. Let's see. So again, this is the one, Corey Davis for Bakhtiari, in addition to, this was a 4th round pick too, instead of a 3rd. 13 and a 4th round for 15. So here we go. We're going to start this one. All right.
And this one's just me and you, right?
Yeah, we're just me and you. We're just going to do it. So what do we got here? We got Brian Breesy, Skronsky, Jordan Addison, Broderick Jones. What do you want to do here?
Well, we got Bakhtiari, so I think we can consider holding off on the 1st round tackle. There's plenty of depth that we can still address the position in the 2nd, 3rd round with a good player.
All right. So which way do you like, Addison or Njigba? Who do you like?
Well, between the two, I like Addison. I don't know if I don't see the safety
Flowers
there. No, I'm good on Zay Flowers. Listen, I think you're going to probably consider Breesy here. I think you're definitely going to consider one of the wide receivers. I mean, I know it's kind of outside of the scope of what most Jets fans do, but it just makes sense. It absolutely makes sense.
Which one?
To go wide receiver. Yeah. It's a sneaky need. Whichever way you put it.
Let's go with Addison. Let's do it.
I love it.
Let's have some fun.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, we took Addison. All right, now we'll leave this one here. Okay, look at that. There goes Torrance. Oh, so many guys I like. All right, so we're going to come back now to the main mock. All right. And we'll get, I'm doing a great job so far, everybody.
Look at this. All he hasn't lost anything yet.
I know, I'm afraid to say it. All right, so here we are. The poll is running. Let me see how many votes we got in there. 62 votes.
Let's get up to 75.
Yeah, let's get up to 75 votes. And then I'm going to go ahead and look at this here super chat. I see so many fun people. Randilla popped in. Phil's in here. Some guys in here. Mutt Files. What's up, Mutt Files? Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't seen Mutt Files in a while.
Yeah. He's not as He's not as present these days. I think he's still over there on Ryan all the time, but it's nice to see you, Mutt Biles. Nice to see you on our side of the tracks, let's say. But let's see. Ron Weiss checking in. Thank you for the super chat. He says, okay, guys, don't laugh at me. Would you trade Quinnen while he is hot? My answer is without question, no. Like at some point, Ron, we have to start keeping players like that are good. I mean, I get it, like with Jamal Adams, and he wasn't a pillar player. He was never going to be more valuable than at that moment. And he, quite frankly, he doesn't do anything. Quinnen Williams on the other side of this, on the other hand, dude, he has an uncanny ability to come up big at big moments. Jamal Adams rarely, if ever, did that. Quinnen is a special player, a young player. The team loves him. He's not polarizing. Like, he's just good across the board. And I think he's still on the ascension. I would say absolutely not, unless he's saying, I'm not taking less than $45 million, something crazy like that. What do you think, Dom? You trading?
No, I am not, and I'm in agreement with everything that you said. And I want to point out, Quinnen Williams wasn't correct me if I'm wrong. It's not that you didn't like the player, but you weren't real keen when we took him. You didn't
I hated
one here wonder thing, another interior defensive lineman, so on and so forth.
Yeah,
but
I hated it.
I think everything that he's shown, like you said, his ascension up to the top tier of interior defensive linemen. I mean, the guy's just a force. We watched it. We watched it play after play, game after game this year. Him just dominate. The interior, getting at the quarterbacks. On top of that, I don't think that it's going to be I don't think his salary is going to be an issue. I think this is just negotiation. I don't think he's a risk to hold out or draw the line somewhere along, that says, oh, forget this, I can't play for the Jets. He's not one to drudge up all that negative vibe that happens with some people, like we had with Jamal, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
On top of that, I also, like I said, I think the guy's as clean as a whistle. Totally. he had an issue with a gun.
right.
But I think that was just like, him
misunderstanding. He's a good boy.
Yeah.
Well, Dom, and you bring up great points, and he's a great example. Just like with Sauce Gardner, you could really like players and not think they're a good pick for your team.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. People are funny. They go, you hated them. Don't try to change it now. You hated. I didn't hate Quinnen. It was a silly pick. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't need another defensive tackle at that time for that team. And it was a silly pick. That said, I had every confidence that he would be a good player. But the 1 year, in Alabama thing, look, we see it. It took 4 years for him to really come into his own. He got better every year. He's always been good. But that, to me, when you're looking at a guy at the 3rd overall pick, you're hoping that he comes in and has an immediate impact. And it took a minute for Q. And where he stands now, I couldn't love him more. And absolutely. I don't want to ever see him go. Ever.
No, agreed. And when he was drafted, I mean, the defense that we're running right now, I mean, it's like it was a perfect layup to take Josh Allen at that slot.
Great.
And when we passed him up, I said, this is such a Jets pick. Again, the player was good. I wasn't necessarily unhappy with the player, but it was more so the disappointment. And we yet again we passed on another edge that could come in and really,
it's the truth,
fill the need that we wanted.
So. Yeah. And that's the whole truth of it. It's like, and I didn't love Josh Allen. What I really wanted to do was trade back. With the Redskins at the time, that was the rumored trade. They were at like 13. Trade back with them, recoup a 2nd and a 3rd or whatever the hell it was, and then I wanted Jonah Williams, left tackle, and then take or slide back a little bit more and take Bradbury, the center. Like, I wanted some stuff like that. But if you're staying where you are, just grab Josh Allen, grab the edge rusher, make it simple. Don't overcomplicate this. And McCagnon couldn't. He couldn't do that.
McCagnon did McCagnon things, man.
Yes, he did. Yeah. E-Boogie checking in. Which mock draft simulator do you like more? Well, you know what's a shame? I really do love the PFN sim, but I hate their ratings. I mean, their ratings are just bunk, man.
Yeah,
But
their sim I think is the easiest. It's the most user friendly.
Yeah.
It's the most user friendly. I always kind of gravitate towards mock draft database. That's just the one that I think I like the ratings the best. But they give you the most ridiculous trades. You know, every trade offer that they give you is like when Mike Ditka traded for Ricky Williams. Like, here, take my whole draft and next year's first. You know, for your fourth rounder.
All right, so we had over 80 in here, Dom.
Okay.
We're going to go ahead and end the poll. Peter Skronsky cleaned house with 63%. So we're going to go ahead and grab him. That's what we're going to do. We're going to come away in the first round with offensive tackle Peter Skronsky. Now we are moving into the second round. Remember, we didn't trade, so we don't have a third, everybody, because we traded it for Aaron Rodgers. Don't forget, though, we have Aaron Rodgers. That's pretty big. So now in this draft, we have Aaron Rodgers, Peter Skronsky. Not a bad start, Mr. C. That's
not a bad start at all, dude. Not a bad start at all. I'd be
go on,
very
please, I'm
happy.
sorry.
No,
Yeah.
I said I'd be smitten if that's how we started.
Smitten like a kitten in mittens. That's right. We have one trade offer, everybody. The Patriots, who Joe Douglas has already traded with twice in his short tenure. Yeah, twice. He traded back with them in
2020.
Well, they think about it. So this is how it goes. So he traded a 6th round pick for Demaryius Thomas. Then the next year, he traded back with the Patriots, got that exact 6th round pick back, in addition to some other picks. So Joe Douglas, I mean, look, his first year, he's trading with the Pats. He's trading with the Giants. He even tried to make a trade with the Miami Dolphins. He don't care about any, pre-standing bullshit. He's like, I don't give a shit. If they have something that I like, I'm taking it. I like that about Joe Douglas. So this one, we slide back 3 picks, and essentially we get pick 107. What do you think, Dom? I'm going to give you the opportunity to say yay or nay, because this, we're going to take a long time.
Here we go. So it really depends, and I got to see who's on the board, because you're going back three selections. You're recouping a 4th rounder. You're recouping a 4th rounder where we don't have a 3rd, so that extra 4th could be very valuable. So personally, everyone, I see the chat, everyone's saying, tell the Pats to kick rocks. I don't know. I don't know if I'm not. I don't know if I'm that fast. I think that there's some guys here that we like, and there's some guys here that'll be here 3 picks later.
Look, you got Ika. He's there, right? Lots of people love him. Drew Sanders, another favorite. Yep. We also have John Michael Schmitz, the center. If we're going to really make sure that we protect this aging white beard quarterback that we brought in, Aaron Rodgers, we might want to commit to this. We more than likely won't have Connor McGovern this year, but then we have safeties, J.L. Skinner. We have tackle, Cody Mauch, who is probably going to end up being an interior offensive lineman, guard. So we got some guys, but you make a great point. We slide back 3 spots, pick up the 4th, and we still get these guys. So what do you think, Dom? I'm going to give it to you as our guest.
I'm going to take the trade.
You're going to take the trade?
I am going to take the trade.
All right, I'm going to try to counter for you, too. That's what I'm going to try to do. Let's try to get pick 258. Let's just try to get some sugar. This is sugar. Like, hey, Bill, throw in 258. You got yourself a deal. And he said no.
No, he said no. He said,
"We're gonna have to take it. Take it or no." He said, "Hey, take it or leave it." All right, so we're gonna take it. We're gonna slide. Let's see who we lost. We didn't lose anybody.
We lost Drew Sanders.
That's it. Look at this one. 2 trade offs. Now this one I'll bounce to the house. Remember, once we get past the 3rd, I'm not really gonna play with the trades anymore. They get ridiculous. Yeah. But so we have Cleveland wants us to go back into outer space. They want us to go from our 2nd to pick 98. They'll give us pick 111 and next year's 3rd. The Saints want us to go back to 71. So we'd lose our 2nd, regain us a 3rd, and get next year's 2nd. I'll bounce it to you guys. We're going to do a 1-minute poll. All right, just to see if you guys want to. I'll show them again, but there are some players there. We have Ika. We have Schmitz.
You got Zay Flowers, you got Ika, you got Skinner, you got Schmitz. I think you got a bunch of good players. I said like the juice was worth the squeeze to risk the biscuit for the three pick drop. You got a couple while the poll's up, you got a couple super chats if you want to hit them
chats. All right, let's do that. So I just put the poll up there, guys. Let's go ahead and get that done. Hey, I see Jets Chaos in the house. He's like, look, Skronsky. He's laughing because he knows.
Because he can't say the name. He says it every which way from Sunday, but except for saying Skronsky.
Yeah. Well, real quick, Jeremy says Draft Network, a different Jeremy. It's like, I wish their sim was good. I don't like their sim. I mean, I got to check it this year, but I don't, it's funny, again, PFN, Pro Football Network, their sim, to me, it's just like you said, the easiest to use and all that jazz, but their ratings are just not where we like them. Jonathan Francois checking in. Thanks, buddy. He says, I think we should go best player available if we get Rodgers. Need someone to contribute right away if we only have a 2-year window. Agreed.
Well, Jonathan Francois. That's why in the other draft, we took the wide receiver. We're going to feed our aging future Hall of Fame quarterback some targets that he can throw for 5,000 yards like Dylan Terraman from Jetnation suggested.
Yeah, totally. And the thing is, like, look, I'm a firm believer in drafting for need.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, drafting BPA at a need. That's like taking a safety if you have a surplus, taking a cornerback when you need tackles and they're all kind of in the same. Like, I really do think that need should at least be considered in there. That's, but taking best player available is really a tried and true method, man. You bring in the best possible player, and more than likely he's going to make an impact right away. And that's the way to do it. But yeah, I think if we get Rodgers, it's really important to make that line though, Jonathan, we got to make sure that he is protected. We can't have that bullshit that we had last year. We got to make sure.
Yeah.
So G Money checking in. Thank you, G Money. I appreciate the super chat. I know we're focused on a Rodgers draft, but if Carr is our quarterback, we make that no trade, New Orleans trade, and have 2 firsts and 3rds next year. At 29 this year, we grab Torrance. Oh, Osiris Torrance. Well, I mean, think about that. So he's saying if we did just sign Carr, we don't lose any picks and whatever, and we just take that New Orleans trade, gain next year's first, and still get a slam dunk player. How do you feel about Osiris Torrance though there at 29, Dom?
Do I think he's worth that pick? I do. The problem I have with Osiris Torrance, I mean, he's a mountain of a man. He's dominant. He's not he's just not a scheme fit for the West Coast outside zone blocking scheme. He is a straight power gap guy. He doesn't, although for a big man at 340, 350 pounds, he moves very well. He's light on his feet. He does most of his work as that prototypical tried and true road grader. Put somebody in front of him, he's going to move him. He's not a guy that's going to kind of veer off and get onto that second level and pass blockers off. No, he's a guy that you just line up and you just run behind him. It's just, like I said, love the player, don't love the fit on the Jets.
Yeah. Interesting, right? I mean, I like him too. I really do. And if you're going to miss out, I mean, the truth is, I think some guys are going to slide that you don't think are gonna out of the offensive linemen, particularly tackles. I think back end of the first round, you might be delighted with who's there, G Money. That's my thought. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how the combine shakes out and all that jazz. All right, real quick, before we get to the poll, it's already looking pretty heavy one way. Don't forget to get your votes in. Mutt Vials, I want you to know we weren't guilting you. I promise, buddy. I promise. But thank you for the monster super chat. We call that a big dick super chat. That's what we call that. So thank you, Mutt Vials. You're a good dude. He says, my bad, GreenBean. I haven't been here in a little bit. I'll be here during the offseason. Just a quick one, since everyone thinks we will trade for Lamar or Rodgers and his contract hasn't been talked about yet. Can you see the Jets trying to trade for Justin
Oof.
Herbert? Well,
Oof.
you know what? That's not the first time I've heard that. I'm really surprised. And the basis for that, Dom, is that the Chargers are cash poor, right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. Let's just say for a second he's available. You going to do are you reaching for Justin Herbert? You going to kick the tires? You going to see what that looks like?
Listen, I mean, we're talking on an alternate universe here, because in no way, shape, or form do I think Justin Herbert is ever available. But in that alternate universe that he is, I think 31 teams would be kicking the tires to see what it costs. You'd be stupid not to. You'd be stupid not to.
Who's the one team? The Chiefs?
No, the Chargers. They can't ask themselves.
Right. Oh yeah, them.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, wishful
right.
thinking, but I mean, you'd be dumb not to, and you'd be dumb not to give up whatever they want. You know, your firstborn, you got him. You know.
Yeah, I agree, Mutt Files. I think if we get word that that's even possible, you definitely say, all right, well, what are you looking for?
Yeah,
we're just looking for a fourth, something like that. Oh my God, yeah. I can't do it. I'll give you a third. I can't have it. But yeah, I mean, he's going to be multiple firsts and all that jazz, of course. But he's young, dude, super young, the youngest. You know, if anybody.
It's. I mean, if you think Lamar Jackson is a far shot, then Justin Herbert is 10 miles past that.
Yeah, well, he's still on his rookie contract too, so it's like, I mean, you're getting him for cheap. You're not paying him $50 million this year, so there's all that jazz. Like Mutt Files' short answer is hell yeah, I would look. Hell yeah. Again, I really don't think that's realistic.
Thank you for the super chat, dude. So kind, so gracious, man.
Yeah, thank you, Mutt Files. All right, we're gonna end this poll. No trade has it by a mile. So, okay, we're going to get the trades off. Now, I'm going to go throw these players up there. I'm going to put Ika, Schmitz, Flowers,
and Skinner.
And Skinner, right? That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Right? You agree?
I agree. I like all those guys.
All right. Next pick, we're going to do Ika, the DT. We're going to put J. Mako Schmitz. Oh. Okay, J. Michael Schmitz, the center. We're going to do Zay Flowers, and he is a wide receiver. And we're going to do J.L. Skinner, a safety.
Now, what you got to remember, chat, and I'm not trying to swing your vote. I know who's going to win this. I have a strong inclination who's going to win. But J.L. Skinner is an interesting prospect because he fits the mold of that ideal transition from big-bodied, strong safety position that can roll down and convert into linebacker. Fred Warner-esque.
Yeah,
a lot bigger.
He's long and lean too, man.
Yeah,
he's got that. He's got the arms. I mean, he's got a lot to like. He really does.
Yeah.
Now taking a look at Ika, he's in my opinion. And look, partially because he was literally the first prospect I looked at this cycle, Dom.
Mm-hmm.
But I like him. I like him a whole bunch. 6'4", 351. And he's that clogger, man. He's, he doesn't get pushed around, and he's
but you know what? You're right. He's the ideal one tech in our defense. Ideal. He's going to require a double team, stuff to run, so on and so forth. But people sleep on what he's got a very, very nifty little set of pass rush skills. He can get at the passer at 351 pounds. The problem with him, and you saw it all year on tape, and I'll be the first to admit it, is that for every 2 plays you get one stinker where it looks like he's just taking off. So he's not a guy that can be on the field for all 3 downs. He's an early round, first or second down guy early on. Hopefully he can get his weight or his oomph into him over the first couple years. But
well, then that gives Saleh the opportunity to stick Nathan Shepard in there on third downs. He likes that. Yeah. So here's Zay Flowers, 5'10", 177, 4.3 speed. Yeah, he's in one. A lot of people like him. Let's look at John Michael Schmitz here. He's a guy we put up there, 6'4", 320. Arguably the top center in this year's draft. Now, getting Aaron Rodgers, if we follow that with Skronsky and Schmitz, we mean business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We mean business on the offensive line. And we're saying, hey, we happen to like our skill guys, whether it's the running backs, the wide receivers, and even our tight ends. We happen to like this bunch. We need to protect Aaron Rodgers, and we're going to shred teams. That'd be a big one, guys. And the last guy that we put up there was J.L. Skinner. You were talking about him a little bit. 6'4", everybody. I love a safety at 6'4", 218 pounds. Look at this. Physically,
he's probably has 3% body fat, guys. When we say that he is just like one big 218-pound muscle, it's the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks great. Like when you're there, we got to see him quite a bit at the Senior Bowl, and he looks exactly like you want him to. I'm telling you, he really does. All right, we're gonna take a look at the poll here. I'm gonna end it because it's not even close. JMS, that's John Michael Schmitz, the center. It turns out, Dom, that we are serious about protecting Aaron Rodgers, and that's the way we're gonna go. John Michael Schmitz coming aboard. Now, we don't have a third, everybody. Remember, we gave that away for Aaron Rodgers in this scenario. So now we're at pick 107.
We have two fourth rounders, so.
Do we? Let's see.
We traded with New England.
So, guys, just so we're aware, we don't have a third, but we do have 107 and 112 right on the heels of one another. That's fun. That's fun. So let's see what we're going to do here. I like Jair Brown. Let's see.
Keanu Benton, since we passed on Siaki Ika, he's probably the tier where the drop-off on that defensive tackle is going to start. I mean, he's going to come in and he's going to produce right away. He's a big guy. He also has pass rushing skills that can suit or counterbalance Quinnen Williams to give you two active guys in passing situations on the line. But like I said, he's he's that one tech that you put next to the three tech in Quentin Williams, and he can stuff the run. He's a real good player, Keanu Benton. Jamie Robinson's another guy that.
I was going to ask you, Jair Brown or Jamie, who you thinking? If we're going to take a safety at all, who do you like here?
Between these two, I mean, I like both of the players a lot.
Me too.
I think I lean now a little bit more towards Jamie Robinson because he gives you that true single high free safety, if you want to label it. He plays that role a lot better than Jair Brown. Jair Brown's more of a box guy. They're both very effective as blitzers. They're both very solid tacklers. I think Jamie Robinson can do a lot more playing single high, deep middle. Jamie Robinson can also return kicks and punts, so he offers a lot more on specials than Jair Brown does.
All right, well, let's take a look. Now, again, we don't want to just go by their ratings solely. Yeah. So let's take a look at some wide receivers here, and then we'll also take a look at some linebackers, okay? I got the defensive tackle and the safety up there, but we'll take a look. Any of these wide receivers you think would be a good choice here? Now, remembering, pick 112, we're coming around the mountain. We got another pick in just a second, but somebody that we might not be able to get here, Dontavian Wicks. I know you like Mingo. Right?
Yeah, listen, I like Mingo. Mingo's a true X, I think. I think he's a boundary receiver. You passed Tank Dell in Houston. I mean, people are going to be off of Tank Dell completely because he's 5'9", 170 pounds soaking wet. But when I tell you that there's nobody that moves like this guy at all. Yeah, he weighed in a little bit more at the Senior Bowl, but
156.
Yeah, maybe 155 and a quarter. Nathaniel Dell, you can't knock the production that he does. His last 2 years in college, over 220 receptions, over 30 touchdowns, over 2,700 yards. Houston does run, in fairness, the University of Houston where he plays does run a very wide open spread offense, but you give a guy like him the ball in space, and he's a playmaker. And that's exactly what he is.
So we'll throw him up there. Let's have some fun. Let's throw Nathaniel Dell up there. And we'll have some fun. I want to just say hello to our buddy Buffalo Jet fan hanging out.
What's up, Buffalo?
So look at this. We got Jets Chaos, we got Tigo, and we got Buffalo in the house. We got Mutt Viles, Ab Lab. What a great crew we have tonight. In addition to the other love bunnies that we acknowledged earlier, a Fungus Among Us and Gitmo Bob and everybody. What a great group of people we got in here tonight. Dark Soldier's here. Hawk is here. Stephanie's in here. Awesome. Dylan from Jetnation Radio is in here. Oh yeah, Gitmo Bob says, "What the hell happened to PFF?" That's right. We gotta go.
I forgot about that one.
I forgot.
Let's go make our pick there. Oh, actually, let's get the poll up first. Look for the linebackers.
We're gonna throw Nathaniel Dell or Tank Dell. I'm gonna put him up there.
Yep. And then we're gonna look at the linebackers, right?
Yeah, we're gonna real quick look at these linebackers for you guys, and we'll see who we love the most. Ooh, Henley.
Ooh, Diane.
Diabate.
I love the player. Diabate's an interesting. I think it's probably a little too rich at this stage, early in the fourth for Diabate. That's my personal opinion, but again, I've said it before. At the Shrine Bowl, the Jets were all over him. He was the player that the Jets brass at the Shrine Bowl spent the most time with, watching, studying, interviewing, so on and so forth. So there's something that he has that they like.
Drugs.
Yeah, exactly.
Molly. All right, so Dion Henley, huh?
Listen, Henley, it's got to be Henley or Williams. They're two different linebackers, but both very, very good. I think Diane Henley is going to be your closest thing. I know I use this a lot, and it's just synonymous with Saleh. He could grow into your Fred Warner. That's what Diane Henley was. Diane Henley's just learning how to play the position. He was a wide receiver. He's only played 33 games as a linebacker. He was a wide receiver at Nevada before he transferred to Washington State. He's excellent. He's very good, very athletic. Dorian Williams is going to be probably right up there with the best off-ball will linebackers. He's your Quan replacement, chase and tackle guys, fast as could be, excellent in pass coverage, probably one of the best in the class in as a true pass covering off-ball linebacker. So whichever one you want to pick, I'd be fine with, Henley or Dorian Williams.
All right, well, we threw Henley up there. So, guys, the poll is up. Go ahead and get your votes in there. And Mars likes Tank Dell. Now, if you see him, Nathaniel Dell is the way he's listed here. But while we're doing that, go ahead and vote in the poll. Dom and I are going to hop over to the PFF mock and see if I can continue this streak of awesome management.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
So remember, we took Jordan Addison and we got Bakhtiari. So
that's right.
I took the first pick. I'll give the honors to you here.
All right. Well, look at all these. You've got trade offers. We're not going to do anything. All right. So what I want to do is this. We got ourselves a wide receiver. We got ourselves a tackle. I'll wait a little bit later. I'm going to back him up with a tackle. But let's see. Ooh, I'm going with, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab Jordan Battle right here, safety out of Alabama. He's going to be a second-round pick.
Yeah.
And with us having it, I'm going to take him. So there he goes. Jordan Battle.
And I love his versatility. He can play, he can do a bunch of things. He can play single high. He can play up in the box. He's good in the run fits. He can line up and run with slots in the man, as a slot, cover the slot in man coverage. He's a very versatile player, Battle. I think he's a guy that's going to probably be a better pro than he was in college. And he was damn good in college. He was just, on an Alabama defense with Will Anderson and Brian Branch and all these guys, he held his own.
All right, so you're up. Here we go. Go ahead, pick our new look. We got all kinds of fun guys, and
so we took a line. We took a
wide receiver and a safety.
Okay, can you flip on the D tackles for me?
Sure,
that's where I want to look at. Oh man, I love him. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and take Ojomo right there from Texas, right at the top.
Right there. Okay, there he
Yeah,
goes.
yeah. He played opposite of your guy, your favorite. Late round pick, Keandre Coburn.
Yeah, I
And
love Coburn.
he's a big stud. I love what he can do. Again, another guy, very versatile, can play in the run, can play in in pass fits. So you're up on the clock here.
All right. Let's see what we got here. You know what I want? I want to go with another. I want to look at the interior offensive line. That's what I want to do. Let's see what we have. Oh, Kirkland, who I like. Broker, Stromberg. Ooh, okay. All right. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go with Stromberg. What do you think? You have any opposition?
No, not at all. I mean, this is where the area we're going to see him fall off. A good lunch pail, hammer in the run game in Rick Stromberg, big guy. Can't argue it. We need a center. We haven't drafted one yet.
That's right. And we now got one. So I'm going to leave it here and we'll hop back over to the group, our friends. All right. So thank you for hanging. I can't wait to the end and see how these go. See how these look side by side. Let's see here. Oops. Okay. Oh, shit. I don't know what button that was. Okie dokie. Here we go. Okay. PFN simulator with trades. Here we are. So, okay, we're going to the poll. I'm going to end the poll. How many of you voted? 72.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
So only 2 players got votes, it looks like, right? Is that what it's saying? I don't know what the hell happened here. Wait, let me see. All right, I'm ending the poll. No, they all got votes. All right, Tank Dell got 9% squashed. Keanu Brown, defensive tackle, wins it by 5% over linebacker Henley. I like it, guys. I like how you're thinking.
Yeah, listen, he's going to make an NFL GM and coaching staff very, very happy. Keanu Benton's a very good player. He's probably going to hear his name called early in day 2. I think he's a second-round pick, especially how weak this interior defensive line group is overall.
Yeah. All right, I like it. Now, remember, we could do that because right here we have another pick at 112, everybody. So the Browns really want us to give them 112 and 185. We'll go back to 126, and they'll give us 142. So we get a 43-pick jump later, but we lose, 12 picks? 14 picks now. So we slide back 14 and gain 43 picks. Correct me if I'm wrong. Math is not my fun suit.
I will say this: I'm not going to try to steer you away, but we are in the 4th round. Your rule is we don't take trades.
This is the last trade we entertained because we didn't get one earlier. So this is the last one.
Well, we still need we secured our offensive line with a center and a tackle in this draft, and we also just shored up the interior defensive line so that we got a bevy of different areas we can go. Safety, linebacker, wide receiver, edge. You want it. Some people are going to maybe say quarterback. Dare I? Bring your developmental guy in there as well.
Totally. So we have
depending on how the board was,
4 picks left. We'll go ahead, take a look at the big board here.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what we got. Now, again, we got our tackle, we got our center, and we got our defensive tackle. We're just beefing up the front lines here. Lots to do.
So look, you got a guy like Henley and Diabate. Will McDonald is for those who haven't seen him play, go watch him. That guy is a pistol off of the edge. The only problem with a guy like Will McDonald is he is what Bryce Huff is for us. He's a pass rush specialist. He's not going to offer you a lot on the run. Doesn't have the skill set to really drop off ball and play your traditional linebacker slot. So, but what he does very, very well.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to use some of the guys that we had in the last one, unless we take the trade, Dom.
I probably wouldn't.
I wouldn't either, actually.
I probably wouldn't. Just the value of the guys here at this pick.
Yep.
You know, you might lose a lot of them. So
yeah, it's the end of some tiers here.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to make this poll, everybody. We're going to throw some of the guys that we had up there before, right? Like maybe Tank Dell. All right, so this is pick 112. So we'll throw Tank Dell up there.
Mm-hmm.
Wide receiver. We're going to throw, let me make sure.
Henley.
Yep.
Diane Henley. I think you can also throw in who else did I see? Oh, we're at safety because we didn't get Jamie Robinson. I know he's off the board, so we're gonna have to look at the safeties. This is prime safety.
Yeah.
This is prime safety spot here, guys.
Prime safety goodness. Okay, let me show you guys the safeties. Take a little look-see. Defense, safety. Hickman's there.
Yeah, Hickman is there. Jay Ward, who he's a guy that I wasn't very high on early on, but he impressed me down in Mobile, and I got to watch some more LSU games when I was trying to watch Keyshawn Butte, and I really like what Jay Ward can do. I mean, he offers a different skill set. He's an outside cornerback that had converted to play free safety, nickel, you know, that overhang and free safety, and so he's got the body and the build to do it. To play safety, play, you know, your true center field in the NFL, but with the skill set of an outside cornerback. I think that's something you got to consider.
And that's Jay Ward.
Yeah, from LSU.
If I got to throw one up there, I'm feeling like Hickman might be a better choice for tonight.
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, listen, I mean, I have Hickman ranked higher than Ward, so I'd be fine with that. And I want to throw Hickman some love. He's from Jersey. He went to DePaul High School in Wayne.
All right, I like that.
Yeah.
Jersey boy, everybody. And all right, so we have a wide receiver, a linebacker, a safety, and let me look in the
linebacker,
chat.
safety.
Let me look in the chat and see what they're doing. Oh, I got a super chat here. Sam, I'll get right to that. Just want to see what they're thinking in the chat. Any names coming up here? Let me see.
Well, why don't you look at the edge? Well, I mean, listen, we don't know what's happening with Carl Lawson. You know, he might. I don't want to necessarily see it, but there's a strong possibility that he could be a cap casualty. He really could. I mean, you can't downplay that you can make almost $16 million with almost nothing dead if you lose.
Yeah. Okay. That's sound thinking, everybody. We just witnessed sound thinking. Okay.
One of us has to be sound.
And it ain't me. All right. So Nick Hampton's one that I looked at recently. Appalachian State, you know what I mean? But we have Will McDonald. You like him.
So I love Isaiah McGuire too, but they're McDonald and McGuire, the two guys I like here, two completely different players. McGuire's more of a true hand in the dirt. Secure the edge, run. He can get at the quarterback too, but he can play the run. He's more of a traditional 4-3 defensive end, whereas McDonald does his best work, rushing from the outside on 2 feet in a 2-point stance. So pick your poison. Do you want the true pass rush guy? Then that's McDonald. Do you want the better overall talent? Then that's McGuire.
Well, interesting way to look at it, because Bryce Huff is kind of that true pass rush.
Yeah.
Look, with a different skill set, so is Michael Clemens, right? Although he could play the run, but Jermaine Johnson is kind of that all-around guy.
That's right.
So who do we want as a complement? You know what I think? I think we go with McDonald. Let's do it. Iowa State. I trust Iowa State. Iowa State is where I wanted our head coach from, I think, right? Let me make sure.
Campbell.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do. I confuse Iowa and Iowa. Matt Campbell. That was the guy I wanted. That was my number one. And he said, nope, I'm not coming out. I got my kids. I'm building this program. We're going to be a juggernaut. And he's doing a great job over there. But, okay, so we're going to do Will McDonald. Oh, I almost just picked him instead of adding him to the poll. All right, Will McDonald. And he's an edge. All right, guys, the poll is up. Sam Aiken, thanks for your patience, buddy. Only the Jets want Rodgers. Who else? Why trade for a man who was complete walking distraction in his pro and personal life? Well, Sam, I don't know if that's accurate. I think the Raiders are rumored to want in, and as are the Titans are rumored to want in. I would not be surprised to see the Commanders and the Colts jump into the fray here. Now, the Colts, as we may or may not know, just hired Jim Bob Cooter as their offensive coordinator. You may remember him. Yeah.
I didn't know
you
that.
might remember him. He was our running backs coach under the amazing Adam Gase. Yeah. Now, I'll tell you what else is going on. Rex Ryan is considered the finalist. He just might get the defensive coordinator job over there in Denver. But here's even more interesting. Dom, did you hear Mike Westhoff just got hired?
Yep.
Assistant head coach and special teams helper. Yeah. So I'm going to try to get him on the show real quick before he leaves for Denver.
Well, if he's contracted, he might not come.
Yeah, well, hey, I'm taking a shot. Why not? Why not?
Yeah.
We have some great guests coming up, man. We got Jet Central this Thursday. I've
awesome.
never collabed with Jet Central before, so I'm really excited about it, man. You got
to collab. You haven't done any work with Buffalo either. You guys got to.
I called him. He don't want to do it. He said, "Nah, man, I don't care about you."
Oh man,
what he said. That's what I heard anyway. I mean, I reached out. He said, "Go F yourself." And
fair enough.
Good. Yeah, right. What am I going to do after that? So we got Jet Central. It's funny. I get called the OG by a lot of people, but that's just because I'm old, Dom. I'm not the OG. Jet Central is the OG.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's the truth of it. And
Jet Central and Ryan have been going at this thing for a long time.
And then O'Leary right on their heels. But then following that, we have Beanbagger Wyatt coming on, but we also have Connor Hughes. We have Tyson from Let's Talk Jets Radio and Luke from Play Like a Jet. All these fun people are coming on. So why not Mike Westhoff, right? Let's get him before he goes over there and gets stuck in Denver. What an amazing thing. And not for nothing, they also hired a Ben Kotwicka, the special teams guy for the Jets that replaced Mike Westhoff. They got him too. So I don't know, man. It's crazy. Lots of Jets coaches out there. But, Sam, I have to say, I mean, we don't know what's real, right? We don't know what's real. There could be nobody interested, but I mean, there's rumors that lots of teams are interested, and I think that's probably closer to being accurate than nobody wants him. Now, his distraction, I hear you.
I think that's fair because I think that's one thing that kind of like irks me about the whole Aaron Rodgers thing. It's not Aaron Rodgers the player. It's Aaron Rodgers, the complete package. Are we going to have to deal with this kind of drama after this season if he's with us? Probably. That's what we're signing up for. And,
what you're signing on for.
I just don't know if I got it in me. All this drama can miss me.
Yeah, like Connor Hughes, right? He's going to be asking him all kinds of crazy questions, and Rich Cimini. It, man.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers. He just kind of leaves a lot out there to chew on. You know what I mean? He really does. And he's got that attitude. And I mean, there's one side you can think, hey, dude, he don't give a shit. He's impervious. But the other side is they're going to be all over him. And he's also been known to get frustrated. So I don't know. That's it, right. Like you said, we're signing on for it. So Sam, I don't know. We just have to hope that the on-the-field play is so good that it doesn't matter, right? That's what we got to hope. Let's see. David Hubble checking in. I don't know if you know this, Tom, but David is responsible for the Hubble telescope. He's the one who made it. Yeah.
He's the very rich man, and he's here with us. I feel honored.
Sad to say they screwed him over big time. He got very, very little. It's like Jim Croce. They just a bad contract. He signed a bad contract. His name's on it, but They gave him very, very little. It's like Tesla, you know? So David, that's clearly, or I don't know, maybe it is real. I don't know. He says signing Carr equals the end of the Zach Wilson era. I'll bounce that to you, man. What do you think? You think if we were to sign Derek Carr, is that, without saying it, is that like kind of the official end of the Zach Wilson era, barring injury?
Listen, I'll say this. I think that they're going to say all the right things about Zach Wilson, but I think their actions are very telling about what the Jets and their upper management thinks about the Zach Wilson era. If they had a true, real faith that he could figure it out and turn around, so on and so forth, you wouldn't hear our owner and our head coach and everyone related to the Jets say we need to get the quarterback. I think the Zach Wilson era, sadly, has come and passed.
Yeah,
he's on the roster because it just
money.
Economically it makes more sense to have him on the roster than not.
Yeah,
so.
It's more expensive to cut him. You might as well have him and take that shot. I mean, it's slim, but you might as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. So there is a tie in the poll. We have a low vote count as well. It's 31% to 31% right now. Tank Dell. Oh, Ronnie Hickman just pulled ahead.
I'm going to vote too.
Yeah, you better get in there.
I'm in.
All right. I'm going to do 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Get your votes in. 3. Hurry up. 2. Come on. 1. That's it. We're ending the poll.
57 votes. It's not terrible.
Right.
For the fourth round, it's usually
I know, right? Fourth round viewership is always a little bit lower. All right, Ronnie Hickman with 37%. We're gonna go get ourselves a safety, Dom.
Yeah, I would have. I voted for the linebacker. I just think the value for Henley was better than Hickman here, but I'm not going to argue. It fills a need. And he's going to come in there and he's going to battle with Tony Adams for the starting free safety spot.
There it is. Tony Adams, the guy that we lost Pinnock for. So hopefully that guy comes out of the darkness and really becomes something. I will say this. He did have a couple nice plays when he got his action. He looked okay.
I don't think he looked bad at all. No, I don't.
Yeah,
listen,
he looked okay, right?
I would beg to differ. I'd beg to differ that he looked better than okay. Listen, he's Ed Reed. He's not, but
that's what we want. What we want.
Yeah.
Hey, he good enough, right? Good enough. All right, guys, we are at pick 145. This is the third to last pick. Let's get this going. Let's see where we are. Well, let me show you this again real quick. We got ourselves a quarterback, a tackle, a center, a defensive tackle, a safety. I think it might be wide receiver time, Dom. That's what I'm feeling.
Yeah, I like that.
Wide receiver. And we'll throw up an interior offensive lineman as well, because why not?
God, there's a lot of good running backs left. Too bad we don't need one.
Too bad we don't want one. All right. What pick is this again? 145? Is that what it is?
Yes, sir.
Pick 145. All right. I'm going to go ahead and check some wide receivers for you. All right. We got wide receivers. Ooh, Ronnie Bell's there. Okay.
Ronnie Bell.
Jonathan Mingo still hanging around.
Raheem Jarrett's another polarizing player. He's a super good athlete, just, like inconsistent. Probably one of those guys who needs to get his head on a little straight, but has all the talent in the world. Reminds me a lot of Odell Beckham. A little bit bigger, but reminds me a lot of Odell Beckham.
The hair?
When he's on. Hair? When he's on. No, he doesn't. when he's on, his game is very reminiscent of Odell Beckham, but his game goes on and off too much for my liking.
All right, let's take a look at some guards.
Yeah.
Braden, I know I looked at Nick Broker, who I happen to like.
Yeah. Antonio Mafi's not a bad player. Mafi from UCLA is not a bad player either. He might be he doesn't really check off all the marks athletically, but again, we're in the 5th round here.
Yep.
So, you're probably not going to get the best of the best. Broker's probably the best. He's also got some tackle flexibility that could bounce outside.
Right.
Curtis McClendon, I saw way down there. He's another guy who's really, really good, not known. He played UT Chattanooga. Big old guy. Was a tackle in college, but doesn't have the chops to stay outside at the NFL. Well, it's going to make a decent guard. Think of the kid that we lost from Charlotte. What's his name with the neck injury? Cameron Clark.
Oh, right on, man. What a it's just terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, so who else we got? We got lots of good guys. We got a well-rounded draft here, everybody. Maybe I throw up a third wide receiver. What do you think? Who do I have? Who did I put up there? I put up Mingo and Raheem Jarrett.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make it a 3-man race. Oh, did we get a linebacker yet? We did not. We did. We did get one.
No, we didn't. We passed on Henley.
Wait a cotton picking minute here. Let me make sure. We didn't.
All right, look at that pick right before us. Those sons of bitches.
Yeah, there he is. Amazing. All right, so let's take a look at the linebackers, everybody.
Sure.
All right, we got Rashad Torrance. He's there.
Nope, that's a safety. You're not on linebackers.
There you go. That'll do it every time. Dorian Williams.
Yeah. I love Dorian Williams. Cam Jones is another guy I really like. He had a bad, I think it was a back injury. Missed a lot of the season last year. But the year before, 21, he was really, really good. He's going to be a good NFL player, Cam Jones. But Dorian Williams, hands down, for me is the play here.
All right. So we got our linebacker up there. And the poll is live, everybody. Let's get our votes in there. Let's try to get this one done on the quickie quick. What do you think of that? Little quick style action.
You want to flip back and go to our next pick on PFF? While the poll's up?
I want to get William Sprague's super chat real fast.
I see it.
Thank you, William. He says, let's sign Carr. Great teammate, better human being. Well, I'll tell you what, William. That's something that, a lot of the time you don't value, right? You go, dude, I just want animals. I just want I want a good football player. But I got to say, the whole teammate thing, remember when Sauce Gardner was drafted, they do the standard thing. They go, what's the New York Jets team going to get when you? He said they're going to get a good teammate. That's what he said. It's the first thing he told us. They're going to get a good teammate. Now, that mentality, it might not seem like that big of a deal, but it really is, man. I want to feather in and find my place, find my part, and do it exceptionally well. I don't want to come in and take over. Like Sam Darnold said, expect a lot of wins. Yeah, okay, great. I mean, it's nothing wrong with that, but you see the difference, right? You see the difference. And I think, having guys that are known to be good teammates, known to be team players, and known to be upbeat, positive, work ethic, all those kinds of things, it makes a difference. Like look at Garrett Wilson. I mean, amazing person and teammate. I think that it's really cool to see the New York Jets putting a focus on that because obviously, in addition to talent, it's right up there, man. Having guys that are, when the going gets tough, they quit. That ain't we're not going to go anywhere with that. Our team didn't quit. If we just had a freaking quarterback, we would have been Super Bowl champions, in my opinion, Dom.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I'm going to touch on the chat. There's a lot of people going in the chat talking about the running backs. Why not take a running back? We're going to be run-centric team, so on and so forth. Listen, I don't disagree. I mean, I wouldn't be, I wouldn't shy away from taking a running back, but you got to remember, all right, Brees, you don't know what you're going to expect from him. You hope that, at worst, he's pup list and he comes back after 6 weeks and, he lets it rip again. You still have Michael Carter, who is bound to kick back up to the player that he was in his rookie year. You got something. We got to see something from Zonovan Knight. Does he have that? Is he that breakaway runner that you hope to have in that running back stable? No, but I think you also have to remember James Robinson. I think he's the guy that a lot of people forgot about. He's going to be his second year coming off of an Achilles injury, so now he's going to finally be healthy. I think there was something to be said about the injury, the questions that they had with him not being at 100%. And you put him at 100% in that, I'll take that stable and go to war with it, with those 4 guys. What do you think, Bean?
I think you're nailing it with James Robinson. A lot of people kind of assume that he's just a forgotten guy and he's going to be out.
And he's going to be cheap.
It's $1.2 million to keep him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we know, like, this is the thing with him where maybe, younger guys or what have you, we know that he can produce at an NFL level, at a high NFL level, and he did it on a bad team.
Yeah.
Right. With very little quarterback help and all that jazz before Trevor Lawrence got there. We know that he's 1,000-yard rusher in the NFL. So, and look, we know his goal line proficiency, all those kinds of things. I think for $1.2 million, you lock him up. He's a restricted free agent. He can't just leave. We have some prohibitive obstacles in his way.
Yeah.
Just sign him.
Listen, I'm not going to, he's 24 years old, or going to be 24 years old. I'm not going to give him 5 years, $30 million, but 1 year for pennies. You have your whole running back crew. Breece Hall's the only one that's making over $1.2 million. Your whole running back crew right there is probably $5 or $6 million. That's 4 guys that you can go in there. On top of that, of the 4, well, maybe not take Breece out of the equation because he's probably the best one out of all of them. But James Robinson can also help you in pass protection, and as much as a willing blocker Michael Carter is, he's just not very good at it. He's not very good in pass pro.
Yeah, right. He ebbs and flows. And then you got Ty Johnson is just no good. I mean, he gets a good block here and there, but he's really a liability in pass protection. And
yeah.
It's important.
Yeah. So Ty Johnson, I don't think he's going to be back. I just think that the money that it costs for Robinson will probably push Ty Johnson off the roster. But I will say this, Ty Johnson he would offer that extra burst, that extra gear of speed that running back room outside of Breece Hall is really lacking.
Yeah, and look, with all respect, Ty Johnson had a couple games this year where he looked really good. And by really good, by his standards, but he's done that all through his career. He's a ghost, and then he has a really great game, and then they depend on him, and he has a complete collapse. And it's just, again, I prefer consistency. James Robinson can give you that. And the one game that he really was used was the first Buffalo game. That fourth quarter was predicated on James Robinson's running.
Grinding it out, man.
Yeah, grinding it out. 5-6 a clip. He did it the whole fourth quarter. That long 90-something yard drive, that was a lot of that was James Robinson. I say we keep him. James Robinson, Van Knight, Michael Carter, and obviously Breece Hall. I think we're good. And we'll go there. And then maybe you take another swing at another undrafted free agent. All right, Dom, but here we are on this one here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking, look, we got Bakhtiari, but, backfilling it with a nice
developmental offensive lineman. That's what I'm thinking too. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. So let's look at the tackles here.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. Oh, come on. What the hell's going on here?
Oh, you don't have to move any further. I see Wanya Morris there, and he's a right tackle only, but listen, Anton Harrison is one of my favorite tackles in this draft class. I've grown to really, really like him. I moved him up my board a lot. And I'll tell you, all the Oklahoma games that I watched to see Anton Harrison playing on the left side, my eyes get caught on the right side, and just watch Wanya Morris just destroy.
Well, there he comes. Here he comes. He's coming to the Jets straight from Oklahoma to New York.
I love it.
Or New Jersey. We know. I want to say this. You know how they say Buffalo is the only real New York team? Mm-hmm. I want to just remind everybody that Buffalo actually plays further from Buffalo than we played in New York City. So I just want to point that out. Everybody, they're kind of, what the hell happened here?
They don't. They don't like your Jordan Battle pick there, Bean.
I know. Well, I know. Look at them. They do this every year. It's like, why not? Why don't you like Jordan Battle in the second round? Anyway, so here's what we did in this draft, and we'll compare this to the draft that we're all involved in with PFN in just a few moments. What we did here, we traded for Aaron Rodgers. So we swapped picks. Now, obviously, you don't see that here, but we swapped picks. So we got 15, and Bakhtiari, they got 13, pick 112, and Corey Davis. Well, we came away with a tackle and Aaron Rodgers. In addition to that, we started with wide receiver Jordan Addison. Very exciting idea here. Followed that with safety Jordan Battle, Moro Ajomo, a defensive line, excuse me, from Texas, center Ricky Stromberg, and then tackle Wanya Mars. This is a solid draft. Dom, PFF's given us a C-. What do you give this draft?
No, I think it's a good B, man. I think it's
Good
a
B.
solid. I think it's a solid B. I like every. Listen, you got a guy that can. You got 3 starters on this out of 5 picks here. You got three guys who have the capability of starting in Addison, Battle, and Stromberg. Ajamo will be a rotational defensive guy, and then you got your developmental tackle of what Max Mitchell should have been last year in Wanya Morris. I love it. Yeah,
I love it too. I'm giving it a B+. I'm giving it an A, man. We got Aaron Rodgers out of the deal as well. I think it's an A draft scenario. I love it. Again,
Hawk hates it.
What's that?
Hawk. I said Hawk hates it, but that's okay, buddy.
Hawk?
We love you, Hawk.
About? What do you mean, Hawk? What's he saying? See, like, cut Michael Carter. I don't understand. What is that? It should hurt you to say that. Why? Because LaFleur stopped using them? Why? Dude, again, let's not forget, going into the second half of the season, like all through his rookie year and this first half of the season, he was still among the leaders on making people miss. Like, dude, he never goes down on the first tackle.
Yeah.
You just got to give him the damn ball, man. Like, this idea that these running backs can get into any flow with 3 carries, 4 carries a game, it's not real. It's very unlikely. You know, you gotta look. How many times have we complained about LaFleur completely abandoning the running game?
Yeah,
we did it we complained every week.
Yeah. So, I would like to see them get Michael Carter the ball out more in space. I don't know, a swing pass or, an open toss, and let him get outside and really do that. Like, you see him too much jam up and jitterbug in the backfield, trying to get inside and so on and so forth. I don't think that's his strong suit, personally.
Yeah, I think that we just got to know how to use our player. Like, we got to stop overcomplicate. We always get these coordinators that they're like, they outsmart themselves. It's like all these guys. That's why I really like that we're getting somebody with experience. Like, I want to stop being the place where they cut their teeth, where they make their mistakes. Stop. They've already done it. Come here. You know what works. You know what doesn't. You look around. You know which guys are going to play at the, what you need them to play. And just run a friggin' NFL offense, huh? How's that sound?
Yeah.
All right, so the poll is done. Dorian Williams, linebacker, wins. So, hey, real quick, here's the recap, okay, guys? So we got Aaron Rodgers, tackle Peter Skronsky, center John Michael Schmitz, defensive tackle Keanu Benton, safety Ronnie Hickman, and we're following this with linebacker. Where'd he go? Dorian Williams. Boom.
Great player, guys. You're gonna love him. If you get a chance to watch him, or if he's a Jet, you're gonna love him.
Oh, there goes Raheem Jarrett. Mm-hmm. All right, guys. So we have 2 more picks. Here's the big board for Gitmo Bob. He likes the big board. Yeah. Ronnie Bell's still there. All right.
Deuce Vaughn. Somebody wants a game breaker. There you go. There he is. If you want your game breaker type running back.
Well, let's say hypothetically we're not keeping James Robinson. Maybe we do go running back, and we can look at the quarterbacks too. Let's take a look, see who's there.
Malik Cunningham. Malik Cunningham's a polarizing player. I think that he's got some development to do. He's not a guy that you want to get in there and toss in right to the fire, but he's got some skills. He's got a live arm. He's mobile. He's not Lamar Jackson mobile, but he can move in and out of the pocket. and he, he comes from a real good, offensive system in Louisville that I think he could probably develop into something.
All right. So we got some quarterbacks to look at here. We got some wide receivers. Again, we got Ronnie Bell. Oh, there he is.
Yeshevis.
Yeah, Yeshevis, right. From Princeton.
Puka Nakua still there?
Nakua still there. Yeah. All right. So let's throw up a poll here. We're going to do these quicker, guys. And then I see a super chat. I'll get right to you. So we'll throw up what pick is this one? Let me see here.
Well, I don't know where Bean went, but I guess he's out.
It's okay because
there
I'm glad it was here. I'm glad. I was like, oh no, and it was just this. I can get back in here. That's fine. All right. Okay. Here we go. So this is pick 185. And I'll throw up two receivers. If Yosivas.
Yeah, he's going to be. He's going to.
Yosivas.
Listen, I mean, they both have their strengths and their weaknesses. I think Yosivas is a skill that we don't really have on the team. He's a burner. You know what I mean? He's a strider. He's a guy. He's your true deep threat. He's not as refined of a route runner as someone like Puka Nakua or Ronnie Bell. But he offers that element of speed that you just don't have on the roster. That straight burner, straightaway speed.
I'll throw up an interior. Well, we got two offensive linemen in this one. I'll throw up
a running back, man.
Yeah, all right, let's see. Who do you give me your Deuce Vaughn? Is that the guy you like?
Yeah, I like Deuce Vaughn. You don't have it up on the screen right now, though.
What don't I have? Oh, okay, there we go. All right. Thank you.
You got it.
Very important to see. There we are, everybody. All right, so we'll do Deuce Vaughn, and then we'll make it a 3-man race.
You could throw Jay Ward in there because the value for him here is too good to pass up, I think, as well. But I like Deuce Vaughn.
Who was that? Jay Ward?
Yeah, Jay Ward, the safety.
Yep. Okay. Got it. All right, guys. The poll is live. We're going to give it 1 minute and 18 seconds. All right. Let me start in my thing here. I'll give you 1 minute and 44 seconds. There we go. All right. Timer is up. 1 minute. 44 seconds.
1 minute and 44 seconds.
All right. Yeah, I'll tell you, right. Not bad, Eric. Eric Craig says, not bad, man. That was, technical difficulty. You took a little while.
Don't forget your super chat as well.
There he is. Sam Aiken checking back in. Thanks, Sam. I think that's the one. So he says, thoughts on cornerback Eli Ricks and defensive end Tyree Wilson. So what do you think about Eli Ricks now?
So Eli Ricks, I like a lot. I think that he's destined to to kind of be a safety at the next level. He's going to be drafted as a cornerback. He's got, he's big. He's fast, but he plays a little too hesitant. If you watched him last year at all, I mean, Alabama just ate his lunch. Alabama just ate his lunch. He was a much higher heralded player early in his career, transferred in, and it just didn't really cut it. Like, it just never lived up to that billing. I like him a lot as a free safety. He's going to be one of those guys who I think can make a mark for himself after he moves in the NFL and plays their position. Now, Tyree Wilson, I know a lot of guys in the chat were saying they don't like him. I just disagree. I think he's probably one of the top 2, top 3 edges overall, just not going to be in our wheelhouse, not even close to there at 13 when we pick. I think he's a top 5, top 8 pick at worst.
Oh, there it is. We got to end the poll. I forgot I did that. It scared me a little bit. Okay, we're going to end the poll. How many votes did I get? 34 votes. Looks like, all right, it's I got to end it. We're not getting a wide receiver in this one, Dom. End the poll. Jay Ward comes out from the dark Look at this. Here he comes. We got ourselves another safety.
We got one more pick.
Yeah, we got one more pick. We're going to throw a punter up there, and we'll throw look at the wide receivers, see what we got here. Let's see who's here. Oh, they're all gone now. All right.
Eli Higgins really played well at the Senior Bowl in Mobile, but he's just kind of a he's just kind of like runs in mud. He's just not very athletic. He actually at the end of the week on Thursday, he worked solely with the tight end. So he's a guy that might transition.
I see.
Yeah.
So anybody
There's Trey
Tucker. Yeah, okay, let's throw him up. That's our boy. We're throwing him up there. Or Trey Turner, as he's known in certain circles. All right. Trey Tucker, wide receiver. Let's throw up a punter. I'm going to find a punter for you here. Let's go to this special teams.
Michael Turk.
All right, let's throw him up there.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
What about the kicker? We still don't have a kicker. We don't have Greg Leggs re-signed yet.
That I mean, right. I know we just assume, right? We just assume.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at the kickers.
They're all going to be there probably. And if the kid from Michigan's there,
Mevis, we didn't like him. I don't like
Moody. Jake Moody's the guy.
Jake Moody. Okay, there you go. Here it comes. All right, Jake Moody. Oh, Jake Moody, and he's a kicker. And I'm going to throw up a quarterback for shits and giggles. Here we go. Where are they? There they are.
Oof.
Yeah, it's ugly. All right. Let's not do that then. Let's go with this guy. Cephas Johnson, Southeast Louisiana. All right, we put the running backs up there. Let me see what we got here. You got any interest in any of these guys? You know what?
Evan Hull is a really good player. He had a good season. I don't know how much of like that breakaway speed that he gets. He's kind of more of an inside grinder, but I mean he was the lead back for one of the squads down at the Senior Bowl. You know, they dealt with a bunch of injuries and so on and so forth, but you know, he's a decent player.
All right, it's up there. So we got Trey Tucker, wide receiver, Michael Turk, punter. We got kicker Jake Moody and running back Evan Hull. So let's go and see these super chats over here. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the support that you give to the channel. It really is appreciated, guys. I'm broke. All right, here we go. Jets carpetbagger. What's that? A sticker? He didn't put anything in there. Let me look over here. Hold on. Let me see. I got to look on YouTube. Nope, it's just a thing. So hey, carpetbagger, thank you. I sincerely appreciate it. If you have a question, throw it in there. I'll keep my eyes open for you, or a comment. We'll make sure to get it up there. But no matter how you slice it, thank you. E-Boogie checking in as well. He says, Trey Tucker. That's right, man. That's right.
I can't tell if he's laughing at the idea of drafting Trey Tucker or if he just likes him.
No, it's the exclamation points say Trey Tucker. So that's him. If it wasn't, and then he left, then I would be there. I'm assuming he's happy. He likes him. That's what I'm saying. Let's see here.
We got 27 votes in the poll, and it's close.
Let's get up to 500, and then we'll do it, and we'll end it. All right. We'll do another 30 seconds or so. Let me see who's winning. I'm not even going to look. I don't want to see who's winning. I'm just going to end it, and we'll see. Mike and Miles, anyone else down for Mims learning how to tackle and becoming a free safety? No.
He would have to jump up to get the interceptions and catch him in his body because he obviously can't catch with his hands. But
yeah, I don't know what happened. He was known as a hands catcher. It's weird. It's almost like they want him to do that. Like, you know, he really struggled to impress the staff for whatever the reason was, right? And like it's like they changed him. It's weird to me. Like he was a beautiful hands catcher. It's what I liked about him. And I don't know. It's weird, man. The whole Mims LaFleur thing is weird. And so is the Elijah Moore. LaFleur thing, Zach, it's just weird. It's unfortunate. Hopefully we can rebound and still save some of these young guys because, dude, imagine this. If Mims and Moore are just what we thought, do you realize the potency of this offense?
Yeah. It as the dust settles, maybe it's the media that pushed this narrative, but it seems that like Mike LaFleur rubbed a lot of guys wrong in the locker room.
Truth. Yeah. It's the truth. And you think, and that's the guy, I mean, outside of Calabrese, that's responsible for developing our second overall pick. Yeah. It's really unfortunate. And that's the thing, like when you hire first-time coaches at their position, head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, this is the thing. They're learning through mistakes. And then when you chop their heads, soon as they're done learning, you fire them, they go somewhere else, and then they do a better job over there. It's like you have to know that. Like, that's why over the years, I've been the same way. Get them out of here. But it's like the last, I don't know, little while, other than Adam Gase and Todd Bowles, I guess I wasn't. But you got to give some guys, if they show any real progress or any real value, you got to let them work through these mistakes, in my opinion, which is hard to do. But I don't know. I think like Saleh, all right, get LaFleur out of here. Obviously, look, we all wanted to fire Ulbricht the first year, and he came out of around the mountain. So who knows, But yeah, I mean, the LaFleur thing was real. I mean, his schemes, like we've talked about, schemes were working, but his development, personnel choices, situational awareness, all that stuff, and relationship was all out of whack. All that stuff.
Now, I know that LaFleur signed on with Sean Taylor over there in the Rams to be their offensive coordinator, even though
McVay.
Or McVay, what did I say? Sean Taylor? Sean McVay, excuse me. And I know McVay calls the play, so he's going to kind of have a role in setting up the offense and the scheme, so on and so forth. But do you think he jumped the gun too long? Like now that DeMeco Ryans got picked by Houston, do you think that could have been a good fit? I mean, Ryans nabbed Mike LaFleur's replacement in San Francisco to come on and be his offensive coordinator. Do you think he jumped the gun too hard and went to the Rams too quick? He probably could have had a lot bigger of a role in Houston.
But I think it's almost it might behoove him to kind of step back for a second, still have the same title, but not the same responsibility. And let me see how let me now that I have those 2 years of experience, let me work under McVay, who's a guy he's worked with before, and just kind of settle down. You know what I mean? Let's see. I don't know. It could be. I mean, I'm sure LaFleur got his head rocked a little bit too. He had to be spinning. He had to be. Phil says bad juju. All right, we're going to end this poll. See what we got here. I didn't even look. Let me see what we have. Wow, the punter wins, not Trey Tucker. I can't believe you guys. Wacky. So I don't think we got a receiver in this one. All right, let me see.
We also didn't trade Corey Davis in this one, did we?
No, we didn't. So that's positive, I guess. All right, Michael Turk's coming. All right, let's see what we did. We'll get some letter grades. Then we'll compare the drafts. All right, guys, let's not forget, before we give our letter grade, we got Aaron Rodgers in this one. All right, so we came away with one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. So not a bad start. We followed that with offensive tackle Peter Skronsky out of Northwestern, John Michael Schmitz, the center out of Minnesota, Keanu Benton, defensive tackle, Wisconsin, safety Ronnie Hickman, linebacker Dorian Williams, safety Jay Ward, and punter Michael Turk. I will say I'm a little surprised that we're so defensive heavy here. I didn't
even realize that until just now, just looking through these picks. But
look at that. So we got a quarterback, a tackle, a center, and then we went exclusively defense, tackle, safety, linebacker, safety. And then we wrapped it up with a little special teams love. So let's get some letter grades in the chat here. Let's take a look, see what you think. Remember, Aaron Rodgers is a part of this. Right, Sam? Well said, GreenBean. I agree with what I said. I don't know. I usually do. But let's start with you. What do you think? If you had to give me a letter grade here for this draft, what do you think?
Well, you got a lot of guys that are high on my board personally. I mean, Skronsky's my top overall tackle. Schmitz is my top overall interior lineman. Keanu Benton's right up there in the top 3 or 4 in the defensive tackles, and Dorian Williams is the top 3 off-ball linebacker for me. So I like this. I'm going to give this draft a good. I would have liked to maybe come away with another receiver at some point. But there's always free agency. Maybe that's how it's going to be. But I'd probably say I think it's a strong B plus, maybe an A minus.
All right. Well, Gitmo Bob is he's pretty fond of this one. So B minus from Bob. Hennessy says no playmakers is a mistake.
That could be.
Braden, our buddy from New Zealand, says, I loved it all the way till you wasted the damn pick on a punter. A minus. I'm with you, Braden. Radovan says B minus. Harley comes in with an A minus. Jolt Rex with an A minus. Jolt Rex, I don't recall seeing that name before. Welcome, Jolt. Nice to have you. Jordan Victor, B minus. Hawk gives it a C minus. He's been telling us he didn't like it.
Yeah, he didn't like either of them.
Yeah, he didn't like him. Hennessy says B minus. Hank comes in with a solid B. E-Boogie follows it with another B. Slim says C plus. Mr. Morris, B. Gary Fisher with the B. Zach Hunko gives us 2. B plus. I can't decide. Somewhere in the middle. He goes, what is that? An 86 on a high school test. High Lost Boy with another B. Squirmy Weasel with a B plus. Let's see. I know Harley says little disappointed we didn't grab a wide receiver, but still a B plus. Eric Craig with an A minus. Phil B plus. Loved the 2 old linemen. I thought he was calling us old. 2 old men. That's what I thought he was saying.
Yeah, well,
right.
I mean, he's got a point there too.
Yeah. William Sprague with the C. Mr. Fantastic checking in with an A. Nice. Jason Zayas with the B. Mikey Miles, B minus. Ray Danger with an A. John Sauer, B plus, no wide receivers. He says GreenBean gets it. Right. I do get it. Thank you. David says a B. Let's see. We all know Joe will have an A plus draft. So that what's well, this is us. This is our stuff. I like to see how we compare,
Yeah.
Right, Eric? 2 old men. Let's see. Hawk says anything less than an A plus like last year just seems like a disappointment. I want all the best players in the draft. I'll tell you, man, hopefully that didn't taint us. Now everything is disappointing if we don't get Sauce and Garrett and Jermaine Johnson and Breece Hall. We can't expect that. But why not? Why not do that every year, Dom?
But you know what? This is not the class that you're going to find those guys. Very, very.
I agree. I'm not in love with this class. I'm really not.
Well, I think a lot of people aren't. We on the Sunday show that Jeremy and I do, we brought in Dylan Terman, and we were talking about it last night. Todd McShay, who's a very well-known NFL draft guru, has 14 first-round grades in this draft. He has 14 guys with a first-round draft grade. So that, the average, just, for argument's sake, the average is usually around 20 to 22. There's never 32 first-round grades given out. I mean, that's just not reality. But it's usually around 20, 22, sometimes 24 in a good class, and he only has 14. So this is one that you're going to probably stockpile a lot of depth. And hope that one of those guys that you expected to be a depth piece steps up and becomes a player.
Right. So look, Rob F. Brady says the same thing like Braden. He says it was a little higher, but that punter makes it a B. And then the Flipster checks in with a solid B as well. Yeah, Zach says it's a bad class in general besides cornerback, which we don't need.
And tight end. It's a phenomenal tight end class. Very deep tight end. Yeah.
Yeah. Topped by some more Notre Dame, some more Iowa. I think there's a Miami guy in there too.
There is Malloy. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. E-Boogie says A, the other mock. All right. Yeah. Let's see here. We don't have 3 or 4. I know, Morris. It's like so much less fun. Now, you can feel it too. Jets fans are like, meh. Like last year, we were like, ah! And, we had 2 firsts the year before, and then 2 firsts and 2 seconds last year. Now it's like, nah.
Well, listen, the rug might be pulled out of all us Jets fans, especially if we give up any decent capital in a Rodgers trade.
Totally. Yeah, it's really true. Yeah, Hawk agrees with you. Says Dom knows what he's saying here. Let's see. Radovan checking in with the super chat. Thanks, buddy. He says, of those 14 first-round grades, how many are offensive tackles, offensive line? Dom, how do the early offensive tackles compare to previous classes? Do you know which positions he has rated that high?
No. I can't speak exactly for McShay, but I will tell you I have 4 offensive tackles myself with first-round grades. I don't have any interior offensive line with a first-round grade, and that includes Michael Schmitz. John Michael Schmitz, but I have the 3 that we talk about and Anton Harrison as grading out as first round caliber talent.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I mean, look, look, there are players I love in this class. And again, I'm still in my first wave. I'm really kicking in now though, man. I'm like sucking in all these players, but I don't feel like in love with positions yet. It's like players, last year I was in love with the edge class and a lot of defensive linemen, even the interior guys. I was in love with it. Like there were so many ways we could go and I was excited, and then the wide receivers too. That's why I was talking all that stuff about guys. We don't need to take a wide receiver at 10. We could very easily use that on the, like a Devin Lloyd, who I thought the linebackers were thinner. Take your linebacker and then, grab your wide receiver in the second, because I felt like the class was so deep. It felt like to me.
Well, think of the guys that went in the second and third rounds, guys like George Pickens, guys like Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, all those guys that.
Yeah, and I thought Jahan Dotson would make it there too, which he didn't. But I thought a few of the guys that went in the first would slide through as well. But yeah, man, I mean, look, if it was my draft, like what my draft would have likely been last year is Thibodeau at 4. And then I would have gotten either Devin Lloyd or Kyle Hamilton at 10, and then I wouldn't have traded up, of course. So I would have gotten Breece Hall, and I was going to take Breece Hall and George Pickens in the second. So I still think Joe Douglas did a better job than me, which is rare, but it is, man. The Jets usually don't even touch what we're doing out here. But Joe Douglas did a better job, but I still think my draft was pretty damn solid as well. But all right, man. So just so you guys are reminded, so this is our draft here. Let me just scroll. Don't forget, we got a little bit of Aaron Rodgers here too. So here we go. Skoronski, Schmitz, Benton, Hickman, Williams, Ward, and the now hated punter in this group. But still a very solid draft. And again, we got Aaron Rodgers. And just to remind you what Dom and I did in the other one, show you real quick again. Where is it? PFF. Here we go. So we also got Aaron Rodgers, but we traded Corey Davis for Bakhtiari in addition to the other stuff. So we got Bakhtiari, Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Addison, Jordan Battle, Moro Ajomo, of course, defensive lineman, and Ricky Stromberg. So we still got our center, Wanya Morris, tackle. I love this draft, by the way. I think this is slam dunk with Aaron Rodgers and Bakhtiari in there. Look, because I like that we backed it up with a tackle. That's the whole thing. I love it. I think this is great. I would have liked maybe a guard, but
you only had 5 picks, so we had to, you had to play with the hand that we were dealt.
That's right. It's pure and clean and potent. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I love it.
I agree.
I love it. All right. Well, listen, guys, that's going to probably wrap this one up. Slim comes in with a B+. I didn't give you guys my letter grade for the overall mock. Yeah, I'm going to give it a B. That's where I am with it. The punter, and I think the whole thing with the punter at the end is like that close to the end, maybe you just wait and see if he's there and under and draft the free agency. I get it. I'm with that. But again, like I would have liked to see a wide receiver in that draft. I'm disappointed that we didn't get one anywhere in there. And I think we skewed it defense when clearly the offense needs more help. But we did help them, man. We got Aaron Rodgers, Skronsky, and Schmitz. So it's not exactly no help. But anyway, so that all said, what a great little show. Island says B+ as well. So we're going to definitely have a good defense next year with this draft. Dom,
yes.
What are you thinking, man? What do you got coming up? You got a busy week. I know we're doing some beanbagger stuff this Wednesday. If you guys are in the beanbaggers, the whole offseason plan starts this week with Dom C. We're going to be breaking down some tackles. If you want to get in on that, there's still time. The link is in the description. You can click the link, join the beanbaggers, and you are in. Just so you know, this week it's an all-tier benefit, but the breakdowns and all that stuff are a tier 2 and 3 benefit. And then so we have the classic games and stuff. That's all tiers. So lots of fun for all tiers, but just know what you're getting into. Dom C is going to be hanging with us all off season, and we have some private mocks scheduled as well. But what about you? What else you got coming, buddy?
Man, I got a lot. This is a busy week for me. So at some point this week, I'm sure everyone in the chat can see our second video for Project Prospect coming out, where we touch on another wide receiver who I think is a really, really sneaky good fit for the Jets. That'll be out later in the week. Tomorrow, I'm really excited because I'm going to have the first premiere episode of the Project Prospect podcast coming out, where I'm going to be talking to Nick Merriam, who's the director of draft content for Defiant Takes. Very, very well educated, well schooled at this whole NFL draft scouting stuff. You know, he's a veteran of Boomer Bust. If any of you guys are familiar with that site, that is probably, I think they're defunct now, but you know, he was one of the founding members there. He's a really, really intelligent guy, and I can't wait to just talk shop with him. And we're going to talk strictly about prospects in this draft who could be good fit for our New York Jets. On top of that, Thursday, I was asked to speak with Glenn Naughton and Dylan Terraman on Jetnation Radio on Thursday. Yeah, so it's a busy week on top of the beanbagger stuff on Wednesday, man. Looking forward to it, man.
That's right. Dom's he's picking it up, man. This is Dom's season, baby. The off season, the draft. This is where you shine, bud. And I'm glad to be able to have the time with you over here. Thank you for co-hosting another 10 o'clock mock.
Oh, my pleasure, man.
Yeah, isn't it fun? I love hanging out with you, buddy. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you to everybody in the chat. Of course, we love having you guys here, and it's really been a blast. So with that all said, it's time to go to bed, everybody. Go and have a great night. We will see you next time.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8.
Johnny Lamb Jones. Wide receiver.
As a season ticket holder of the Jets, I'm going to fool Ken O'Brien of California Davis.
Obviously, the Jets know something that, you know, the people up there don't.
Fullback. Roger Vick. Jeff Lageman.
Jets just don't understand the draft all about.
Blair Thomas. Running back. Penn State. Johnny Mitchell.
The New York Jets select tight end from Penn State, Kyle Brady. Vernon Golson. Cleveland traded the 5th pick to the New York Jets. And with the 5th pick in the 2009 NFL Draft, New York Jets select Mark Sanchez.
D. Milner. Smith. Jets select quarterback Christian Hackenberg.
Sam Darnold. The New York Jets